Assalamu alaikum, folks. Just imagine a nation that is brimming with natural resources, fueled by ambitious goals, and backed by a rich history of trade, culture, and resilience. Welcome to Indonesia in 2024, a country that is not just Southeast Asia's largest economy, but one of the most exciting stories of growth and transformation in the world today. Today, we're diving deep into Indonesia's economy. We're going to look at where it all began, the highs and lows of its journey, the major industries that keep this industry moving, and the bold projects that are shaping Indonesia's future. So just grab a cup of coffee or tea, sit back, and let's explore how Indonesia went from colonial resource provider to economic powerhouse of today. To understand where Indonesia stands today, let's rewind a few hundred years back in history to when this archipelago was under Dutch control. Back then, Indonesia was like the golden goose for the Dutch. Its spices, coffee, and tea were highly prized across Europe. And later, the discovery of oil made Indonesia even more valuable to the colonial masters. But here's the thing, most of that wealth left the country. Infrastructure was built, yes, of course, there's no doubt about it, but it was mainly to support exports that benefited the Dutch economy. When World War II rolled out, things got even more complicated. The Japanese occupation pushed resources toward the war effort, and Indonesia's economy was pretty stretched thin. But by 1945, Indonesia finally declared independence, and it was a brand new start for the country. Now just imagine this, a country with immense potential, but no established industries of its own. In the 1950s and 60s, under the leadership of President Sukarno, the goal was self-sufficiency. The government began nationalizing industries to take control of resources. But as you can imagine, starting from the ground up wasn't easy. Indonesia faced inflation, political instability, and economic policies that didn't always hit the mark. But despite the setbacks, Indonesia pushed forward, setting the foundation for what would come next. Fast forward to the 1970s, Indonesia experienced a complete transformation under President Suharto. This period, known as the New Order, was all about economic reform. The country opened up to foreign investors and took advantage of the global oil boom. Oil and gas exports brought in serious money, and manufacturing industries, especially textiles, began to flourish. This was the era when Indonesia truly began industrializing and shifting away from an agriculture-based economy to a more diversified one. But then came a big challenge, the Asian financial crisis of 1997. This crisis hit Southeast Asia pretty hard, and Indonesia, of course, was no exception. Businesses closed, the currency plummeted, and the economy struggled. Yet, this setback was actually a turning point for the country. With support from the IMF, Indonesia took major steps to stabilize its currency, restructure the banking sector, and open up to even more foreign investment. So, the question is, where are we now in 2024? Today, Indonesia is one of the most diverse economies in the region, and it's got a mix that is pretty unique. Let's break it into some of the major sectors that are driving its economy these days. First up, we got natural resources. Indonesia is still one of the world's biggest producers of palm oil, coffee, and rubber. These exports have been staples for the economy, and they're not going anywhere anytime soon. But natural resources bring their own challenges, as you may know. Indonesia faces increasing pressure to balance economic growth with environmental sustainability. Deforestation and pollution linked to some of these industries are becoming hot button issues globally. Manufacturing is another powerhouse sector. Textile factories, electronics assembly lines, and even automotive manufacturing are booming in Indonesia. In fact, manufacturing has helped generate jobs and keeps the economy moving even when global oil prices fluctuate. But if you want to see where Indonesia is really innovating, look no further than the digital economy. With over 200 million internet users, Indonesia has become a tech hotspot. E-commerce is huge here. Companies like Tokopedia, Bukalapak, and Gojek have not only dominated the market locally but are also setting trends regionally. Plus, fintech is exploding in the country and it's transforming how Indonesians bank, invest, and even shop online. This digital revolution is putting Indonesia on the map as a regional tech leader. And of course, we can't talk about Indonesia without mentioning its tourism, and of course, to be specific, halal tourism. From Bali to Yogyakarta, tourism is crucial for foreign exchange for the country and job creation as well, of course. But the government isn't just relying on the usual hotspots, they're also promoting cultural tourism, ecotourism, and Muslim friendly travel to attract a wider range of visitors from all over the world. With all this growth, let me tell you one thing: Indonesia still faces challenges. Infrastructure, for example, while Jakarta and other big cities have developed, many rural areas still lack access to quality roads, internet, and other basics that are essential for economic inclusivity. And of course, inequality is another issue which is quite big in the country. That's a real issue too. Many regions aren't experiencing the benefits of this growth equally. So the question is, what is the government doing to address these challenges? For one, they're making a big push toward renewable energy. This one thing. And Indonesia also aims to move away from coal and ramp up its use of solar, wind, and geothermal power. They've set ambitious targets for 2060. And if they hit them, Indonesia could become a regional leader in green energy. Now, let's talk about one of the boldest projects on the agenda of the Indonesian government. Nusantara. Have you ever heard this name? It's Indonesia's new capital city. Yes, you heard that right. Indonesia is moving its capital from Jakarta to Nusantara in Kalimantan. The idea? Reduce the congestion and environmental strain on Jakarta while creating new economic opportunities in other parts of the country as well. This is one of the largest infrastructure projects in Southeast Asia, and it's designed to be a sustainable, eco-friendly city. All of this is part of Indonesia's Vision 2045, an ambitious roadmap to transform the country into a high-income economy by the time it hits 100 years of independence. This vision focuses on three pillars. First is industrial growth, then digital innovation, and human capital development. If they succeed in achieving these goals, Indonesia could rise as a major global power, attracting more investment, creating jobs, and expanding opportunities across its islands. Now, think about it. A country with a rich history, ambitious projects, and a young, tech-savvy population. Indonesia is on a fascinating journey, one that is inspiring not only for Southeast Asia, but for the entire world. So whether you are an investor, a curious traveler, or just someone interested in how economies evolve, Indonesia's story is one to watch very closely. Now, thanks for joining me today on this deep dive into Indonesia's economy in 2024. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for Halal Times YouTube channel for more global insights, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, keep exploring the world of economics and growth, and inshallah, I hope to be able to speak with you very soon again. Till then, Assalamu alaikum.